Hello, Chiefs Kingdom, and welcome to the Arrowhead Kingdom CHIEFScast, live from the Wolf Den. I'm Chris.
And I'm Josh, and this week we're going to be talking week 3. And a big reminder that all Chiefs fans are invited to join us for game day. Visit arrowheadkingdom.org to learn more about our group and to find your local chapter. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.
Today we'll be talking about your Kansas City Chiefs with Chief Shug joining us from Sacramento, California. Welcome, Chief Shug.
Hey.
And we're doing well. And as always, we are presented by Complete Weddings and Events, your leading provider of photo, video, DJ, photo booth, lighting, and coordination services. Please visit them at CompleteWeDo.com. So, Chief Shug, you are from Sacktown, Sacramento, California. Major Chiefs fan. How did you end up being a Chiefs fan living out there just north of the Bay Area?
Well, first, let me give a shout out to my group, the KC Chiefs Sacramento chapter. I just started that 2 years ago, and we're at like 250 members right now.
Oh, nice.
A big shout out to them. Can't forget about them. But this all started in 1988. I was 10 years old, and I remember watching my grandfather watch the 49ers on TV, and I had told him, I'm tired of looking at the Niners. We're always looking at the Niners. So he was like, pick a team. And it was the Old People's magazine, I remember, and it had all the NFL teams in it. And I picked the Chiefs. The first helmet I seen, I thought it was neat. It was red, it had the Arrowhead. It was just real, it talked to me. So ever since then, I picked them, and he said, you pick this team, you ride with them, you do the ups and downs and all through it. And you never give up on them, you always root for them. So I took that and ran with it, and I've been a Chiefs fan ever since.
Got it. And it finally paid off a couple years ago.
Yeah.
A moment
That's a good
of
guy right there. That's a good
family
good
defiance ends with
Good dad. Good dad.
ends with a lifetime of
Excellent.
fandom. That's great. So
Yeah,
you've always been in the Sacramento area then?
You say what?
You've always been in the Sacramento area then?
Oh no, I'm originally from San Jose, California.
Oh, got it. Okay, so you're
I'm from San Jose, but moved up here in 95,
got it.
96. Yeah, because I was actually in Blue Springs, Missouri
Okay.
for a couple of years. I went to high school out there.
Did you go to
football.
Blue Springs or Blue Springs South?
I was a Jaguar.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was a Jaguar. So I played football out there, and I moved out there with my brother, Dr. Pelham McDaniels III.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he played for the Chiefs from 93
Yep.
to 97. He wore 77.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I came out there with him. He was staying in Lee Summit. I think it was Lee Summit.
That's where I went to high school.
Yeah, he was living out there. I remember Von Booker was staying up the street from us. There was a lot of the NFL players that were staying in those areas, the new guys. So he wound up buying a house, built it from the ground up out in Blue Springs, and we moved out there, and I lived out there with him for almost 2 years. And, so I got to experience Arrowhead, man. Oh, I tell people, if you've never been, please go. Please go once in your life and experience it. Yeah.
That's great. So I have to ask this. So growing up in the Bay Area and in San Jose, this is something that I've always been curious about. Are you Giants or A's?
I'm Royals.
You're Royals.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay. Good stuff.
I took
drink
Kansas
to
City.
that. Yeah.
You just took Kansas City.
Yeah. I like the color. When I was younger, I forget who bought me a Kansas City Royals shirt. I mean, I wore that thing till the sleeves fell off, man, and I wound up having to get another one. But I love the Royals. I love the colors. I love the crown. I love what it was about. I actually never been to a game, but I saw the stadium, Kaufman in the same lot as the Arrowhead. So
yeah,
Royals. I'm a Royals fan.
That
man.
is awesome.
That's good stuff. It's just interesting. Every time that there's a rumbling of the A's might potentially move or do something, I know San Jose always comes up, and there's always a squabble over the TV rights. And to me, that seems like the silliest thing in the world, that
Yeah,
there would be an argument over who San Jose was going to watch on TV. I mean,
right.
I can't imagine there's anything other than a pretty equal amount of fans for both teams.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
Jeez.
Well, we got on here to talk about a football game, and the Chiefs played one this last Sunday. So, as our guest, you get to go first. What were your thoughts on this last game against the LA Diego Chargers?
Quit laughing.
I have zero respect for their geography. Go on.
Yeah. So first off, I see the defense. The defense played quite better than what they did against the Ravens.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, but is to me, I think it was the turnovers. I think it's the turnovers, the fumble, the tipped interception. I think that kind of knocked the wind out of everybody, because they're like, it kind of put everybody in panic mode, and we didn't give the defense enough rest. So it was I believe we shot ourselves in the foot. We should have won that game. That should have been our game, just like the Ravens game, but we shot ourselves in our foot right now. So I just feel like we just need time to get back on track. And it's early. It's early in the season, so I believe we could get back on the boat, and everybody be on the same page and get things going, man. It's just I was extremely upset after watching that game. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty much in the same boat. I mean, Chris and I watch all these games together, and I didn't even watch the end. Now, as a side note, I did have something that I had stepped away from, without getting too like deep into personal career type of stuff. I have a wedding service company, and we had a wedding. Okay. We had a wedding show 5 minutes away, so this isn't any kind of like bombshell type of stuff, but I had stepped away to watch the game, and exactly. So I had stepped away, and I had a couple of my guys that were running the show, and when it got to the point where it was the end and we were down, I'm just like, I'm done. I'm not watching the end of this. I need to go back to work.
Goodbye.
It's fine. I need to go back to work.
Don't even torture yourself anymore.
Yeah. So I just I left, and my wife was there with my kids and everything. She's like, okay, I guess I'll close the bill. I'm like, you were gonna do that anyway. Don't even act like this changes anything. Right. But yeah, it was just a frustrating game. I mean, it was close. It was close. Like we could have won it. And I mean, you can sit there and rag on the officials making bad calls. That no call on the Hail Mary was a bunch of crap. I watched the replay. I'm glad I didn't stay and watch that, because I really would have been mad. But that 4th and 9 call I thought was ticky-tacky. But when you're putting yourself in a position where a ticky-tacky call on 4th and 9 is the difference in a game, you didn't do enough to win it in the first place. And it's 4 turnovers, and the fact that they were still in the game after 4 turnovers, I think speaks to how good this team is. So my main observation from this last week, and really the one before, is we just look very lackadaisical, and we're just not executing, and it's kind of ridiculous after the way they talked and postured all preseason and going into the season about we're going to take it back and everything. You're not taking anything back. Playing this way. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, you got to call him out at this point. Over the course of the last 2 weeks, he's thrown his first 3 interceptions in the month of September. And I didn't look up the stat of how many times he hasn't hit 300 yards, but this last one was one of them. I mean, 260 yards, a 5.9 yard average, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, an 81.6 rating. And it's not like he was getting hurried the entire time. I mean, I truly think that the first tipped ball interception, that I've been advocating forever. There should be a stat for wide receivers that do stuff like that to either get an interception or get
To you,
docked
Marcus
somehow.
Kemp, right
Yeah,
there.
Marcus Kemp. That interception was you, and you're probably going to be on the practice squad now that Josh Gordon was signed. So way to throw away your shot. You know, I mean,
Right.
that was a shot. I mean, Chris, anything you want to add to this? Pile on.
So 2-84 teams who turn the football over 4 times and their opponent turns it over 0 times are 2-84.
Who are the two that won?
I don't know. Well, we almost were the third. If you just like you were saying, Josh, that was the crazy thing.
Nice.
We still had the ball last.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, you just can't turn the ball over like that. And I think it's all correctable. You know, I'm definitely not panicking. We've played, I think, 3 playoff teams in a row to come out of the gate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I mean, I think they're going to get right here and probably as soon as this Sunday against the Eagles. But yeah, take care of the football. They start taking care of the football, they'll start rolling again.
Brian, what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
You're right. I think Chief Shug was right about that. Momentum was stolen from us, and when you turn it over the first 2 drives of the game like that, it's just like it seems like you realize how important momentum is. I mean, if my humble pushback, Josh, I mean, I will say, even though the receiver who turned it over with a tip pass was a little behind him. But you know, he's professional, but so is Mahomes. But I mean, it was a little behind him. But yeah, he should have made the play to bring it on in, but it wasn't exactly a perfect pass at that point. But yeah, it changed momentum. We were moving the ball so well, and it was just a knock the wind out of your sails kind of situation. No touchdowns the first half. That was just weird. I mean, it's just weird to see that, or give me remnants of Super Bowl feelings, right? You go in and like we're supposed to make moves like that. We're supposed to like put points on the board. Edwards-Helaire, love the guy, but he's been on a fumbling spree lately. Gone all that time with never fumbling anything, and now the last 2 games he's got 3 under his belt. So it's like I don't know what's going on with him, but obviously he's still a superstar, doing really good. I trust him and all that. We want to see, because he did score a touchdown in the game, and he did what he has to do. But I don't know what's going on with him, but hopefully we'll get that figured out soon. I don't know, Josh, you commented on the kind of the final Hail Mary there. And I got to say, like, I'm getting sick and tired. I'm getting sick and tired of this, by the way, with like, I get it. Like I know at the end of the game, we like to talk about the zebras, and it's just like, yes, that's kind of a loser mentality. They're right. That's right. That's not a thing we point to that wins or loses games. But when you're 4th and 4, you get a ticky-tack thing like that, it's just hard to ignore it, because it's just it's a gameplay moment. It's a big moment. And I didn't realize you're allowed to tackle receivers at the end of a play with a Hail Mary pass. Don't get me wrong. We were put into a position of a Hail Mary,
Brian,
God help us play. You're right.
Brian,
but you don't get to tackle a receiver.
You're not supposed to tackle a receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. That's a no-no. You're not supposed to do that. But it appears that's what happened. Would you call that at the end of the second quarter going into halftime? I think you might have called that going into halftime, but we're not going to call that at the end of the 4th quarter. So I think I hate when people dismiss those kinds of comments. It's getting annoying, because it's not unfair, but they're not wrong saying it's a loser kind of mindset to have. But that's my feeling.
It's like Weird Al's press conference YouTube video, which if you haven't watched that, it's incredible. Brian, go ahead and flash that link up when you edit this. But he does the whole thing like those game-changing moments had absolutely nothing to do with the outcome of the game.
Weird Al.
Yeah. I mean, there's a thing where he's doing every press conference ever, and he's like a combination of Bill Belichick and yeah, it's great.
I'll find that. Okay, that's hilarious.
I'll send you the link. It's great.
All right, yeah.
But the thing that I thought of, remember that 80s song, The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia? Reba McEntire did a version. There was also a pop version. So the whole thing is there's a murder, and the sheriff and the judge have no interest in putting any kind of diligence or investigation into it. So they just have like a fake kangaroo court trial in the middle of the night, and they like hang the guy.
Is that what that song's about?
That's what that song's about.
Song's
Yeah,
about that?
that's what that song's about. Yeah.
All right.
But so the whole thing is like the judge looks at the sheriff and goes, "Supper's waiting at home, and I got to get to it." And that was
That's
Sean
lazy.
Hockley at the end of that game.
Everyone's
You know, it's
lazy.
like,
Everyone's
we're-
lazy in this
We're
song.
ready to go
That's
home.
terrible.
We're not making this play again.
Oh
you know?
God. Terrifying.
Yeah,
So
because we know you'll score the touchdown. Butker will miss the extra point. We're going to overtime. We just
Exactly.
can't let that happen.
Exactly. We don't have time for this. right
Time
now.
for lunch.
So
God.
let's dig a little bit more into the game itself, and so we'll start with our guest like normal. So were there any favorite plays or what you thought was a good play call or stats that really jumped out at you about the game?
The marching. I love it when we start marching down the field and you could see the momentum building, just building up and up and up and up as we march. It's not a specific play, but it's just, and then boom, we get cut off. Interception or turnovers on downs or we need to get back to that. We need to start marching down this field and just scoring. That's it. I don't care if it's 3 points, touchdown. It's the momentum, it's the marching, it's the building. You can see everybody's getting comfortable, everybody's getting relaxed and, ready to play. So it wasn't a, special moment, but I just noticed that about our team.
Got it. Chris, what was your favorite play or best play call?
I actually really like the fact that after Clyde fumbled the ball, the next play the Chiefs had, they gave it to him again. Listen, I'm not saying Clyde Edwards-Helaire is Jamal Charles, but Jamal Charles didn't have a shining record when it came to holding on the football. I still think that he's the best running back on the team. And part of the reason I think why he struggled in the first couple weeks is I feel like they try and turn him into a perimeter runner, which he's not. And against the Chargers, they ran him a lot more inside the tackles. And you got to see just how, this making guys miss in a phone booth capability he has. I really hope they get him more in the passing game as well. But I mean, I think they need Clyde to be good for this offense to really start hitting his potential. And I like the fact that they didn't give up on him in that game.
Ryan, any thoughts?
I agree with Chris on Clyde. Yeah, I mean, he's the guy, right? Give him the ball and he runs and does his thing. And we're not going to lose faith. No, absolutely not. He's the guy. So run your studs. And Chief Shug is absolutely right as well. It's like, I liked how we moved the ball. Like, isn't it weird? Like watching that whole game, right? And they're moving the ball so well. And we were as close as we were with all those turnovers, but never felt out of it. Never really did. And that's a great feeling to be. It's like the best 1 and 2 team I've ever seen. It's like you're just excited for like, well, I was confident the whole time because I know we have the playmakers and the players that we got to do that need to do what they need to do. So I mean, it's a weird feeling to like be in this position, but still know that we have the weapons that we need to do to accomplish the goals. So as for play though, I gotta say, I want to say this one Sorensen knocked away that like open receiver, the kind of, we're down, I think it was 14-0 at the time, and he was able to make that big defensive play to really kind of stop the momentum a little bit. If I recall that, I was just like, that was a big one because they were just, I mean, I don't want to say they were walking all over us, even though we were down 14-0 because we're kind of handing it to them, but we needed something to happen. I see that Sorensen stop there, that receiver in the end zone there. That was a big play. So I really like that play. That's my big one.
Yeah, I think my favorite play was the Mecole Hardman touchdown, and that's just for the sole purpose of there was somebody else taking one of those, essentially a handoff that's a pass that Mahomes got a touchdown pass out of, not named Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce, and we're gonna bang this one into the ground until we have a number 2 receiver or we're dead or something to that effect. But it was great to see Mecole Hardman do that. My favorite stat was Patrick Mahomes becoming the fastest to 15,000 yards ever in NFL history, and that was in 49 games. I do want to go back to all three of you mentioned Clyde Edwards-Helaire and getting the running game going. So the rumbling on the street is that Marlon Mack might be available for trade, and the Chiefs might be a team that could go after him. So Chief Shug, what are your thoughts on Marlon Mack potentially coming to the team?
Honestly, the name
Colts running back. He was their lead back, and then he was splitting time with Naheem Hines, and then they drafted the dude out of Wisconsin. Yeah,
Jonathan
I mean,
Taylor,
Jonathan Taylor. You haven't really heard of him for a couple of years, but he was a guy for a while, you know.
I've seen him. I've watched him. He's explosive. Well, I mean, what about our second string? I mean, what about, was that Williams?
Yeah.
Darrell Williams, yeah.
Darrell the Barrel.
I mean, I honestly like him. I honestly would like to see more of him. But I mean, and then didn't we sign the Gore to the practice squad?
Derek Gore to the practice squad.
Yeah, okay. I liked him in the preseason.
I think everybody liked him in the preseason, and we were shocked he didn't end up on somebody's actual team.
Yeah, but to go get the other kid,
Jerick Mckenna is the other guy that we have on the roster. Has he touched the ball this year more than 2 or 3 times?
Not much.
I don't think so. I haven't really seen.
I'm looking at his stats here.
He had one catch, I think, the Ravens that he caught it, I think, flanked out, and he actually made a couple guys miss and got a first down. But that's all I remember him doing so far.
Okay. And see, that's my thing. Instead of going out, we got some potentials in our own backyard. You know, how come we're not seeing more? More of them. And I don't. I trust Andy. I trust our trust the whole offense. Coordinators and all that. But me personally, I don't really think we need to get no one else. I think we have the talent, honestly.
To run the horses we have out. Chris Bryan, either one of you guys have any contrary thoughts to that? I don't get the impression either one of you thinks we need to be going out trading any draft picks or anything like that away to bring anybody else in. I mean, when you get a situation to do something like sign Josh Gordon for 0 risk, you take that. I mean, a 3-0 Chiefs team should do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can never have enough running backs, but to Chief Shug's point, I mean, we got Derek Gore in the practice squad, and I like him probably more than I like trying to trade for Marlon Mack if we had to go that route.
Sure. Brian, would you call him something like Marlon Mack the 35th or something like that if we were talking about this?
Well, okay. Marlon Mack is 6 feet tall, and he is Chief Shug. Just so you know, whenever I don't know what to say, I just talk about how tall the players are. 209 pounds, and he ran for 1,000 yards in 2019.
All right, so Brian's not bringing running backs in either. Is what I hear.
That's my contribution to this discussion.
All right, so let's look forward. We got week 4. I think everybody in the Chiefs fandom, the Chiefs locker room, the Chiefs coaching staff, everybody in the organization knows that this game we need to come proper. So we'll go with Chief Shug again. What do you think the Chiefs need to be looking at this weekend to right the ship and go to a 2-2 record and start moving in the correct way?
Our offense needs to get going. Fewer no turnovers, actually. No more turnovers. Everybody needs to get on the same page. We got to get marching. I don't know. We got Josh coming in. I don't know if he'll be playing. I don't know, but hopefully they can get the gelling. And everybody gets on the same page. We march. We keep our defense off of the field. Let's keep them keep them nice and rested. So when they do come in and play, they can make big plays and they can get that Eagles offense out of here, and we get the ball and we just keep doing it over and over again. Hopefully we can contain their quarterback, get the young kid's name.
Jalen Hurts.
There you go. We can contain him, keep him from Lamar Jackson and us. And just play some real good defense. I know we have it. I know it's in us. We have it. Chris Jones, I just hope he stays in the middle. He did play quite a few good plays at the end, at the defensive end spot against the Chargers. I seen him disrupting some stuff, but we also need him in that middle to stop that dive counters and blast running plays. We need big bodies right there. That's our weakness. That is our Achilles heel, running up the gut. We have to stop that. And I believe once we stop that, teams are going to have to pass, and somehow, in some way, we're going to get interceptions. So that is my thought on that.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add. That's pretty much exactly what I would say. Just for God's sake, minimize the turnovers. Let's get back to Chiefs September football that we've had under Patrick Mahomes. Chris, what would you add, if anything?
Yeah, I mean, just keep Jalen Hurts in the pocket. Don't give up the big play. Make him look more like Terrell Pryor than Lamar Jackson. And they should win this game by more than 2 scores. It's just just play smart. Attention to detail, and they'll be fine.
Brian, what do you got?
All right, so I think everyone's right. Like minimize turnovers. That's what we should be focusing on. I mean, I hate to see, because the turnovers we have seen, especially with Mahomes, like it seems like he was making careless throws there, and that's not something we're used to seeing. Like we know he takes risks, but not to the point where it gets kind of careless. And we don't want. We have to put a cap on that.
We don't need that.
Right. And it's like, so here's what I like. And this is maybe my stat that I'm looking at is Andy Reid 100 wins could happen in Philadelphia. We're hoping it happens in Philadelphia, where he made his namesake. And here's my thing. I really want to see this. Defense, pretty much, there's always a big moment, right? Like last game, there's a big moment. There's a 4th and 9 or 4th and 4 with the defense. Like that's a big moment. Here we are, turning around right here. Hopefully there's not a situation like that again, but every defense, there's a big moment. I really like to see us rise to the occasion of whatever the big moment is for this game against the Eagles. So I'm going to be looking out for that. So hopefully Mahomes, obviously I like when he takes risks. It works for him. He does what he does. He knows what he's doing. Hopefully we see fewer of the risky situations that don't work out. And I'm going to be looking for that big moment from the defense to rise to the occasion to kind of turn the momentum and give us the momentum. So I'm going to be looking out for that. So that's what I'm looking out for.
Last thing I'll add is we need to not let the Eagles turn this into a spelling contest for their fans. For anybody who hasn't watched the Eagles, they sing the Fly Eagles Fly song and spell out Eagles at the end to prove that they all finished middle school. So anyway, let's that
was a good one.
Oh yeah, it's something. It's something. Yeah. So anyway, any thoughts, things that you're noticing from the rest of the AFC or the NFC after 3 weeks? Go with our guest again.
I'm just tired of seeing these Raiders win.
Right.
I keep telling them, I said, it's not how you guys start, how you finish.
Exactly.
You may start winning all these games, the first 8 games, but what really counts is those last 8. That's when you start showing your colors. So I get middle fingers, I get all kinds of stuff with my chief arrow on my window. So I'm tired of hearing that. Tired of hearing these 49ers talk anymore. NFC, I didn't mention the Chargers or the Broncos because I don't see too many of them. They're starting to come out the woodworks, the Chargers, but I don't see none of them. NFC,
The woodworks. That's where the Chargers
Yeah.
are.
Pretty much.
the Cowboys are doing pretty.
Mhm.
I got to give it to them.
Yeah.
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 But Dak Prescott is looking good over there. The running back,
See,
I call him
Pollard.
yeah, he was really hitting those holes. I watched that game and
Mhm.
really attacking. He was really attacking, and you need that in your running game. But I don't see anybody else really in the NFC.
Got it, Chris. What do you got? NFC, AFC.
AFC, it looks like the Bills are starting to, I don't know, after that embarrassing loss in week one, they're hitting their stride. And I mentioned in our weekly I guess recap is that hopefully the Chiefs don't overlook the Eagles to the Bills, but I don't think they're going to do that. The more I keep thinking about the fact that they're going back to where Andy Reid cut his teeth. They're going to go in there and wanting to win one for Big Red pretty badly. And then on the NFC side, I mean, the Rams are looking strong. Big win against the Bucks, and they have them and the Cardinals are playing each other this weekend too. So that'll be another game that we'll start to know, okay, who's the best team in the NFC.
Brian, any thoughts from you?
Yeah. Okay. So Broncos are 3-0 from an 0-9 situation from their the people they won. The people they defeated have not won a game yet. There's like a Homer Simpson meme where I'm talking about. He looks all handsome, and then you turn around, he's like holding his fat back, and it's all the teams that are not
with
good.
Binder
right
clips, yeah.
Yeah, right. So, and Josh, I know have you seen on your Facebook, I've seen that our friends who are Broncos fans are talking some major ish right now. And so I think Chief Shug is right. Let's see how we end this. Start slow, but end fast, right? We can be slow as we want, but all that matters is how we end it. So, I'm looking forward to, I got to say, like, I would be in a much more reflective or concerned situation, but we all know what we witnessed. We've seen the Chiefs move the ball really well. We're just making some mistakes that are unlike what we're used to seeing. We're gonna get that figured out, and we're gonna turn it around there. So in terms of NFC, shout out to Kirk Cousins, my fantasy football quarterback, who just continues to deliver the points for my team. I gotta say, Kirk Cousins, I think I checked QB ratings actually a few days ago, and he was like number 2 in QB ratings. I'm like, it's my dude. All right, thank you.
We'll see how long that lasts.
After the last few seasons, too, like he got made fun of by his like wide receivers a few times last year. I was like, oh my god, this guy, like, that should piss him off. I think it pissed him off because he's coming back with a vengeance this season. So hopefully he continues.
Brian, just so you know, you could take that Homer Simpson meme and put Kirk Cousins number 2 in the NFL passer rating. And that would be pretty accurate as well. That's
give me pass. The points. I just want the points.
That's going to pass. See if you can trade him now. My thoughts on the AFC. The East is looking, I'm going to say, quasi interesting at this point, but I think it looks less interesting with every single week. I don't see anybody challenging Buffalo. I'm not sure the Patriots are even a decent team at this point. Mac Jones seems to be a good Belichick quarterback, but they just seem to be lacking things, and they're probably going to get walloped by the Bucks this weekend. Brady's going to come in trying to hang half 100 on his old team. Bengals, Ravens, and Browns are tied for the lead in the North, and the Bengals are following that up by getting beaten by Jacksonville. We're recording right in the middle of the Thursday night football game like normal. Titans leading the South, and I would hope they can win it against the teams they're playing. The Colts don't seem to be a very good team. The Jags might be getting the first pick again. Raiders and Broncos. Let's talk after our bye week, and I fully expect to see the Chiefs to be leading the West by that point. That's
Right.
where I'm at. Over in the NFC, gotta agree with you. The Cowboys are looking pretty decent. Rest of the East, I'm not really sure what to make out of it. The Packers are definitely the smartest dumb kid in that NFC North. The NFC South, the Panthers are a big surprise, and they kind of seem like Matt Rule's got something going there. They just keep delivering every single week. And then out in the West, I mean, who knows what's going to happen, but I think the Rams are the best team. Pretty aligned with Chris on that one. So any former Chiefs that jumped out to you, Chief Shug, former Chiefs players or coaches that caught your eye this week?
Former Chiefs? What do you mean? Can you be more specific? Like,
yeah, so I mean, is there anybody that used to play for the Chiefs that kind of jumped out at you? I mean, so a good example would be Eric Fisher is the starting left tackle replacing retired Anthony Costanzo in the Colts. Is there anybody that jumped out this week?
No, not really. Honestly, I was still hurt off the loss, so I really no, I don't think no one really jumped out.
Chris or Brian, anybody jumping out for you guys?
I honestly, I just had a quick memory of Lynn Elliott coming across my LinkedIn.
No,
he sells insurance now.
Dude,
and
why would you say that? Voldemort. You just said Voldemort out loud. You don't say that name.
He sells insurance now, and it came across my LinkedIn, and I was like, "Oh, hey, look at him! He's selling insurance now. Good for him."
Sure, he's doing great.
Are you a LinkedIn connection with Lynn Elliott?
Well, not yet. I did not request one. However, mad respect because he's a professional athlete. But yeah,
God was.
Don't say. I pushed back against the Voldemort thing there. Don't get me wrong, my heart is broken in the 90s as much as anyone, but I'm not gonna. But he's found his way in making a successful insurance business. So
that game scarred me as a 14-year-old. I can't get over that. Yeah.
All right.
So I got to say the old friend alert that I'm getting sick and tired of seeing. I'm getting really tired of Chiefs fans putting up all these what ifs if we would have kept Kareem Hunt. Yeah. Kareem Hunt did everything to himself. We cut him because that was the right thing to do. And I could really care less what he's doing with the Browns right now. I think that he, personally kind of robbed us of a Super Bowl berth in 2018. I don't see that game against New England being particularly close. And I don't see a world where we lose if we had that kind of running game. So there's no sense in even bringing it up. So I'd be really interested to see that kind of stop. So let's do any fantasy stat. Chris, any fantasy stat that jumped out at you?
Oh, to be honest with you, I didn't really pay much attention to my fantasy teams this week. I will bring up one thing on old friend alert, and that's it's interesting how Matt Nagy's career arc as the head coach of the Chicago Bears is going right now. And I mean, he's trying to bring on Justin Fields in a similar way that, they did with Patrick Mahomes while he was here. And it just seems like there's nothing that Matt Nagy can do right. Although, I mean, he did coach, I think, one of the worst offensive games in NFL history this past Sunday. So it's not looking good on him as, coming from the Andy Reid offensive guru coaching tree. But I'm still rooting for the guy. But I think when it comes down to it, you might see Matt Nagy on the Chiefs sideline again here in the next few years, because I don't think he's long for the Bears head coaching job.
No, what was that stat? Justin Tucker had a 66-yard field goal, and the Bears had 58 yards of offense.
Yep.
Something to that effect. So Justin Tucker kicked a field goal longer than the Bears moved the ball.
Yes.
Oh, God. Yeah, the fantasy stat that jumped out to me is unfortunately Mike Williams with 33.2 ESPN PPR league points. We did not do very much to stop him this last Sunday. Anybody else have fantasy stats we want to throw out, or we want to get into this week as a song?
Question.
I don't play fantasy. You talking about fantasy football?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I've never played actually.
Nice. Okay, this is my
Right.
first year. This is my first year doing it.
Wow.
So, all right.
It's a drug and I'm addicted.
Yeah, me
Right.
too. Since I was a teenager.
Should I start or bench Antonio Brown? What do you think?
Start.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Oh,
Brady's
against the Patriots when
yeah,
Tom
I
Brady's
would
going to hang
start every
50.
offensive player on the Bucks this week.
Yeah, I would too. I would too.
Okay.
I would
All
too.
right.
And
Should
probably
I
the
bench-
defense as well.
Should I bench Fuller or Thielen? Oh, yeah, I'm gonna keep Thielen. Okay, I'll bench Fuller for Miami.
Will Fuller.
Yeah.
Dude, Will Fuller hasn't played yet. He's
Plus
suspended through the first
He's
6
got
weeks of the game.
Jacoby Brissett throwing the ball to him too right now.
Yeah.
What?
I wouldn't play Will Fuller any week.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm doing it right now. Antonio Brown, you're in. Fuller, you're out. Okay.
Okay.
So okay. So I think that takes care of that.
Cool. Glad to handle your business.
Oh,
for you.
we should have a weekly segment called "Setting Brian's Fantasy Team's Lineup."
There you go.
You ever
That'd be great.
you know, like you're playing
Fantasy
video
for
games.
people who don't
You
like
ever have this
fantasy.
situation like when you're playing video games and your sister or whatever hands you the controller to beat a level and you beat it for her and you hand it back? That's essentially what just happened just now. Someone beat this level for me. No, thank you, guys.
Oh,
I appreciate
geez.
that.
Okay. If this week was a song, Chris, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna censor this a little bit, but I'm gonna go with one of my favorite Neil Young songs. Let's call it "Bleepin' Up," because I would hope that the Chiefs in the film room had been asking themselves, why do we keep bleeping up? Because again, it's a lot of silly mistakes that I think they can clean up, and if they stop shooting themselves in the foot and they stop putting the ball on the ground, and Patrick Mahomes, is a little bit tighter with the football, I think this team will be fine. So that is my song for the week. One more time, "Bleeping Up." You can fill in the bleep if you want, but that's my song.
I don't really know what you mean. Brian,
Yeah.
What's your song for the week?
There is a song by this. It's a musical called The Book of Mormon, and guy sings a song called "I Believe," and it's called "I Believe." So okay, if you want to Google that or YouTube search the song "I Believe" in the Book of Mormon, it's a great one.
Don't do this if you're at work, by the way. Don't
Yeah,
look
this
any
is
Book of
a-
Mormon if you're at work.
On your personal mobile device only, or at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe. I'm a still believer. So that's it for me.
Yeah. Best song from that is Hasidic Gabawai. Anyway, Salt Lake City is my second favorite from that soundtrack. Chief Shug, you got a song for this last week or upcoming week?
No, you guys are good. I draw a blank. I'm sitting here trying to go through my my playlist, and
I do
can't,
that too.
So
I'm like, let me try to find a song.
So who are your favorite artists?
Who are my favorite artists?
Yeah, we can
I
help you
like-
out with this, I think.
Yeah.
Right now, I like Anderson .Paak.
Okay.
I also like I like Jadakiss. I like there's a lot of new people that it's just I'm more old school. I'm more 90s hip hop, R&B. That's who I am.
Got it.
Yeah, I can't I have a lot of just Twister and Groove Theory and
Most of my songs, I can tell you, are probably 70s and 80s.
Oh,
I
yeah?
come up with these. Yeah,
yeah.
literally.
See, now I respect the 70s and 80s. So a lot of
Yeah.
this new music, oh no. Even Goldfinger, like Superman. I remember hearing that.
there you go.
yeah.
That
Looks
was
like-
the first time I ever heard that song. It was
Shout
on
out to Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Right
Tony
there,
Hawk
right?
Pro Skater, yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Love that
Yeah,
game.
so maybe when you invite me back next time, maybe I can have a song,
Sure.
really
Yeah.
better prepared for it. But
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay. So I'm gonna throw out two for Patrick Mahomes. I got to throw out Careless Whisper because he's been careless with the football. And I hope he's getting guilty feet and finds his rhythm.
oh, is that a line that George Michael sings in that song?
Yeah. Guilty feet have got no rhythm. I know it's hard to pretend. I know I'm not a fool. Yeah.
And then
Should have known better than to cheat a friend.
Then the
Waste
saxophone
chance that
part,
I've
which
been given.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to hear me do karaoke to Careless Whisper. But I did have a second song. OK Go has a song called This Too Shall Pass. And this is
I
the
like that
one. They make incredible videos. So they did the treadmill video to Here We Go Again. They did
Ooh,
two versions of This Too Shall Pass.
2009 reference there.
Yeah,
2008.
yeah,
Hey,
it was
dude.
before that even. But
Is that
but this
2007?
yeah, but This Too Shall Pass. They did two versions of that one. There's one where they have a marching band in a field, which is really cool. But they also did one where State Farm paid them a bunch of money to set up like the really long mousetrap type of game where it throws paint at him at the very end or something like that. That's a really
2005.
cool
Treadmill's
video as
2005.
well. Yep. And I think This Too Shall Pass was 6 or 7. But anyway,
Those days.
and that's the thing with this record. This too shall pass. I mean, I wrote an article for Arrowhead One this week, and one of the things that I noticed after the game is there was a social media post. Doug Morris from Arrowhead Kingdom posted this for sure, and it was that the last time the Chiefs lost 2 games in a row was not that long ago. It was in 2019. And they actually went through a really crappy section of the middle of the season that included that Mahomes injury. But after they lost to the Titans to go to 6-4, the Chiefs were 6-4 and the Titans were 5-5, and that ended up being the AFC Championship game. So 3 weeks in, I don't think we know really anything at all. And this craziness at the beginning of the season, this too shall pass.
Mhm.
Excellent.
And hopefully Monday morning, when the morning comes, which is a line from that song, this will have passed and we'll be in a good shape. So last thing we got are final takes. So I'm going to go ahead and let Chris go first.
Okay.
What's your final take?
All right. I got another homage to the Kansas City Royals. This is the 19th anniversary of George Brett's 3,000 hit. So that's one of my first memories, like actual memories I remember growing up and watching baseball. I mean, I've been a Royals fan, since I can remember, but George getting his 3,000th hit was something I do remember happening. Something else that's really cool that I actually didn't know when I was reading this story on that is George is actually the only player in Major League history to win a batting title in 3 different decades. So, I mean,
Wow.
he's, I mean, I only got to appreciate him for the last 2 years of his career. I was born in 81, so I didn't really get to see his prime or appreciate his prime, but yeah, man, the only Hall of Famer. Hopefully Salvador Perez will be joining him here in 10 to 15 years in the Hall of Fame. And here's to you, George Brett.
Yeah, it's awesome. Brian, have you got something for us?
Okay, yes. I thought of this halfway through our show today. My son is 4 years old and had his first parent-teacher conference today. We had his first parent-teacher conference today as preschool. And I realized today that I will never get tired of a teacher saying nice things about my son. It was like crack cocaine or something. It was just like, oh, yes, tell me more. It was just amazing. And I realized all these nice things they had to say about it. And I was like, okay, this is my first time ever doing parent-teacher conference ever. My first time ever having like really a stranger give me like a breakdown of how my son behaves. And it was a good review. And I was like, oh, I can get used to this. So it was a very nice feeling. So to the parents out there who have that kind of experience, I'm like, that's my first time feeling that. It's a very nice feeling.
Great. Chief Shug, you got anything for us?
Looking forward to Sunday.
There you go.
Yeah. 100 wins. Let's go. 100 wins for you.
Yeah.
So to rehash my thing about running a wedding service company. One of my DJs tonight told me what I'm going to give for a final take. They have announced halftime for the Super Bowl this year, which hopefully we're going to be getting to play in this one again. This is probably what I think the most exciting Super Bowl lineup that I can remember seeing, where I just look at this and say, oh my God, this is going to be great. These people are going to bring the heat. So I'm going to read what I found just on basic Google, what looks of a press release, courtesy of the NFL. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar will perform together for the first time when they headline the Pepsi Super Bowl 56 halftime show on Feb 13, 2002 in the Los Angeles arena. I believe it's called SoFi, for the record. These superstars have collectively earned 43 Grammys and have created 22 #1 Billboard albums. I don't think that I could possibly be more excited for a show than that. I mean, you can't necessarily say that every single one of those guys are in their prime, but you can't say they aren't either. I mean, Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg in LA. What else are we looking for? And then you add in Kendrick Lamar and the guy who was at one point gonna potentially step in for Eric Wright if they were gonna do an NWA kind of reunion type of concert. I'm hoping that Ice Cube crashes this party. I really am. Mary J. Blige, I cannot wait to see what she brings to that, and you know, bringing everything into current time with Kendrick Lamar. I mean, they are just flat out bringing the LA hip hop heat for the halftime show for the Super Bowl, and I applaud the NFL for going the hip hop route. And you know, this is a far cry from when they were trying to get every rocker that could still walk.
Thanks to Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson for that.
Oh, guess who's playing the Fog late night at the Fog for the KU Jayhawks tomorrow? Guess who's doing that?
Who?
Run DMC.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Awesome.
How about that, huh?
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah.
Fun.
Well, rock shock.
They had Snoop last year, and this year it's
that's right.
So so I'm really enjoying all the. I mean, Josh, what I tell you before the show started, I was like, the halftime show. It's like, oh, my freshman year in high school. This is gonna rule. Oh my God, all these songs, I love these jams. Spectacular.
I actually remember I was setting up for a wedding a few months ago, and the catering staff was putting the tables together when I was setting up all my DJ equipment, and they just had music going off of some playlist, and the Ludacris song "What's Your Fantasy" came on, and so all these girls that are setting up the tables are like, oh my God, I remember hiding the song from my mom when I was blah blah blah. And I was just kind of quiet for a few minutes or whatever, and I'm old like Chris, and I just said, yeah, that song came out when I was a freshman in college, so I was at the club listening to that. We were supposed to be listening to it.
You're at the home dancing that jam.
That song is a banger and will be forever.
Josh, you've DJ'd enough weddings to know if they're not going to dance to that song, that party is not a fun party, because number of songs that you can play that if no one's dancing, then there's nothing I can do because no one hears.
Exactly. All right. Anything else from anybody? Or are we out of here?
Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs, yeah.
All right, hey, big thanks to our guest, Chief Shug. Thank you for jumping on. Enjoy the watch parties in Sacktown. We'll run into you one of these days, and we'll have you back on.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
All right, good night, Arrowhead Kingdom.
Chiefs.
Chiefs.